Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Chasing 70 Degrees. So for my next modification on my 2020 Jeep Wrangler JL Unlimited Sport, I'm going to be installing some really nice hood latches that I found on Amazon. I was going to go with a locking set of hood latches, but I just couldn't find anything that I really liked. And so these have sort of a distressed Punisher with, the US flag kind of going across the Punisher face. And I'm going to give you a close-up, don't worry. I'm going to show you all the parts that you need to get these installed, and I'm going to show you how easy it's going to be to get these put onto your Jeep. So, as a quick reminder as well, if you're not a subscriber, remember, click subscribe and then go check out the video where I talk about how you can enter to win for a chance to win the XG Cargo JL Gamma bags, right? Gamma bags, and again, these are going to be for a 4-door Jeep Wrangler JL. But you got a chance to win those, and the link to get to that video so that you can leave your username as a comment and to subscribe is all right there. All right, so let's go ahead, let's dive in. I'm going to take you, I've already installed the driver's side so that you can see what it looks like installed. I'm going to show you some of the tools that we've used, and then we're going to go ahead and knock the passenger side out together. All right, thanks a bunch, and let's get this going. All right, so as you can see, I've already installed the driver's side here, and it actually works really nicely. It's got a super tight fit. I didn't really have to adjust anything. It was literally removing the original latch unit, which is a single bolt on the inside. And I'm going to give you all the details on the sizes of the wrenches that you would end up using, and then removing the component that actually goes on the hood. So this is attached to the hood of the Jeep that actually lifts up. The other part, the latch part, is attached to the body of the Jeep that does not lift up. And so we're going to go ahead and get on the other side. I've got some wrenches I'm going to be using, and let me tell you right now that this 1/2-inch wrench that has sort of this adjustable head, I wasn't sure if I would ever use something like this, and let me tell you, I found the use case for it today. And it's getting down in here behind the body, and I'm going to get you as close as I can once the hood's been raised. We're going to do the passenger side, like I said, and you'll see the value of having sort of this head that will tilt back and forth to allow you to really get in there and get that bolt off and to get it tightened on there as well. All right, so those are the parts. That's what it looks like installed on the driver's side. Again, I always wear these gloves because, man, it is nasty up under the hood. All right, well, let's go over to the passenger side and let's walk through the steps required to get this bad boy installed so that we've got a matching set. All right, so the light might be a little bit challenging, but we're going to remove the latch piece that's attached to the hood. So I've got the hood raised, and there's two 10mm bolts. And so I'm just going to take my 10mm socket in here, socket wrench, and get these loosened up. And they were actually pretty loose to begin with. And I'm taking the bottom one off first because that's going to give me easy access into the top one. It'll be nice, easy spin to get that out of there. Now, one of the nice things about this kit is it actually comes with all of the bolts that you need, so you don't have to worry about dropping one of these unless you're going to hold on to, this kit for future use or maybe to give away or to sell or whatever the case may be. So let's get these off here, almost done. All right, and that does it for that latch piece. And so there is, let me bring it in. So here's the latch piece, the top latch piece, and you can see there were just the two screws that went through the body. And so now let's go ahead. I'm going to give you a different angle here, and I'm going to bring you in so that you can see the removal of the bolt on the inside. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where it's at, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop it off of there, and then we'll pick up from there. And so if I was to adjust things here a little bit, again, that bolt sits right in here, and let's see how close we can get in here and if we can see right where that bolt's at. So that's the single bolt right there that holds this sort of latch piece on, right? This factory OE latch piece. It's this single bolt right there. And again, taking this out is very easy to do. It doesn't matter if you drop the bolt down or whatever, because the new kit has a bolt with it. But what we're going to do is when we go to tighten it back up on there, you're going to see that's where that little wrench I showed you that has the neck that adjusts, adjust becomes really handy, because this kind of like bends out a little bit. It's like a lip to the engine, and it makes it difficult, and there's not enough room to get the ratchet down in here to get a socket around that bolt. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get that removed, and then we're going to pick back up from where we left off. All right, and so there's the latch. It's been fully removed, and that was a 1/2 inch. The wrench that I used to get in here to get this off was a 1/2 inch. It's going to be the same wrench that I use, like I said, when I go to tighten in the new kit. All right, well, I'm going to adjust our angle here, and we're going to take a look at installing, and I'm actually going to wipe the area down as well, because good opportunity to sort of clean it up a little bit. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the area down, and we're going to install the latch on the top part of the hood, the latch assembly on the top part of the hood, and let's take a look at what that looks like. All right, so now we're going to install that upper latch assembly that goes on the hood, like the part that actually goes up with the hood when the hood raises. And pay attention here, right, because there's two sort of hex nuts that we've got here, so to speak. We're going to use an Allen wrench. And there is a really nice thick piece of rubber that goes between this metal unit, and this is really sturdy, and the body of the Jeep. And then we've got the two screws, and it's a 10mm screw on the other side, right? And so we're going to be holding an Allen wrench inside these two while we use the socket and the socket wrench to go ahead and tighten things up. All right, so let's make that happen right now. So we're just going to slide both of those screws through, right? And it sits in there really nice, right? Like it goes right in like it's supposed to, and it sits kind of right where you would expect it to sit. And I'm going to put the top screw on first here. And and let's get that one on there here. All right, so you heard that 10mm screw slide down inside the hood opening, and it kind of slid down to the end there. And it's going to be interesting to see if there's a way to actually get that out or not. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten down the one that we have. We're going to grab, and again, this is a size 5. That's a size 5 hex tool here, and I'm going to use the 10mm socket in order to tighten it. So I'm just going to use my Cobalt, which gives me a little better leverage and a little better grip. And I'm sorry, I meant size 4 for these on the outside here. So let's drop that in there, and then let's tighten this up. All right, so that's kind of tight. It's not totally tight, because what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the 10mm screw from one of the latches that I just popped out. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so conveniently, the previously installed screw that came with the OE kit, or the OE latches, actually works in here just fine. So let's go ahead. We're going to tighten that down all the way. And we'll tighten that top one down as, we'll tighten that top one down as well. All right, and so those are in there really, really good. And now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and, using the Gorilla Pod, I'm gonna see if I can't hang the camera from up here, maybe looking down, or at least give us a better angle down into the part of the Jeep where we're going to be putting the main latch body. All right, let's go ahead and knock that out. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and install the lower latch piece. Now, you'll notice, hopefully here, it's kind of tough to see. In fact, let me remove this here for a second and bring it up to show you that there's like this little kind of a lip, and that is going to be facing toward the top. If you put it on like that, where it's facing the bottom, the problem is that the latch assembly that attaches to this isn't going to be able to reach in and be long enough to hook so that you can pull down and get things out. So this needs to be on the top. So let's go ahead and make that happen. So again, we'll just slot this in here, and this is where that, that 1/2-inch wrench is going to come in really, really handy with the kind of head that adjusts. All right, so we're going to get that started. I'm going to use my Cobalt size 5 Allen wrench to kind of anchor the outside here. And then this is going to be the best money you've ever spent, having the head bend a little bit so that you can get this pretty tight right out of the gate. And let's see what we've got here. Whoops, wrong way. So we want to go. All right. And again, that nice little bend to get around the lip of the body in the Jeep is money well spent. And then that's about as far as you're going to go. And from this point, and this is where what I do is I usually just put the wrench on, and then I'm using the Cobalt Allen wrench here too. And let me see if I can keep that straight up there. Trying to make sure we keep that kind of centered. And I'm using the Allen wrench, and I hope you can see that, to kind of tighten things down. And this is where, again, they give you the 2 Allen wrenches. However, those Allen wrenches you get are just the wrench. This has like this really nice grip that you can get a lot of leverage on it. So it was easy to hold that in there and crank it and finish things out while simply using the non-rotating end of sort of this adjustable 1/2-inch wrench. So money well spent right here. All right, so we've got the lower assembly in here. Everything looks good. And so now what we're going to do, and remember we had to remove the upper latch assembly to get to that screw here with the Allen wrench, right? So now we're going to put this back in. We're going to put the 2 pins in, right? Or there's a pin and then you screw in to the pin on the other side. And then we should be able to shut the hood and we should be done. So let's go ahead and knock that out. I'm going to take this pin here. We're just going to slide it right back through. And this, again, this is another reason that they give you the 2 Allen wrenches when the kit arrives, because you need to have leverage on one side while you're cranking on the other side. And so let me see what's probably going to be the best way to do this. And again, these are size 5, and I'll just try to tighten it out here using the Cobalt. It's kind of bumping up against the grill, and that's it. It was only a few more turns after I had tightened it by hand, right? So it tightens by hand pretty easily. All right, so as you can see, the lower latch assembly is now attached. Now, you'll note, you see how it sounds like it's like a piece of junk, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like, but it's not. Once it locks down, it doesn't move at all. And so the other thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure I tighten these bottom assembly screws as well, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just do a couple turns here to finish those off, right? Make sure everything's nice and tight. We don't want anything falling out while we're on the road. And again, it was just literally not even a whole turn, maybe a quarter of a turn to tighten things down. Now, again, you'll notice it definitely sounds heavy duty, and it is. It's definitely much more solid than the OE unit. But it like I said, you might think, oh, by God, it's going to be jingling around when I'm driving. It doesn't. It's definitely locked down. So let's go ahead and shut the hood, and let's give it a test and see if we can get the hood shut. All right, so the driver's side is down, and we'll bring the passenger side down here, and there we go. And it's in there really nice, right? And you can definitely feel it kind of grab when you shut it back up. And that has definitely got the hood secured nicely. And so if we were to take a look here, so there is the passenger side. And I'll be curious to see how long these images last right here, right? And find, get a chance to come back and take a look after a couple months to see if the wear and tear has kind of faded this out or what's going to happen. So I park, mostly in the shade, but during the daytime it's out in the sun. So we'll have to see, and that's the passenger side. And then again, you guys have seen the driver's side. All right, well, that is a super simple, super easy mod that definitely gives your Jeep a more aggressive look than those OE stock hood latches. Again, I've got the affiliate link down below, and you can also, they have not just the Punisher with kind of the US flag distressed in there, they've got a distressed US flag and a couple other designs. All right, well, that's all I've got for this video. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe and like and enter for your chance to win the Gamma bag set that we are giving away. All right, have a great afternoon and enjoy the chase.